The 4 nights my father was never alone nearly cost him his mind, and 40 years later, my family still won't talk about what really happened in that house. A shadow standing in the corner of a bedroom, a hand gripping an ankle in the dark, every knife in the house, gone. And a phone call that started with his own name. This is that story, and according to my dad, every word of it is true. When my father was 16, my grandfather left for a 4-day trip to Nevada. His older brother was away at college. That left my father completely alone in the house. What happened over the next 4 nights is something my family still talks about quietly, and only when someone brings it up first, on the first night, he heard whispering, right beside his ear, every time he turned to look. There was a shadow standing in the corner of his room, silent, still. He turned on the lights. The shadow was gone. He turned them off. It came back. He told himself it was nothing, just a tired, overactive imagination. He decided to stay another night. The whispering came back. So did the shadow in the corner, but this time something grabbed his leg and tried to pull him off the bed at 2 in the morning, shaking. He called a friend. His friend told him to come over. He could stay the rest of the night there. The next night, that same friend came back with him. Neither of them wanted my father to be alone in that house again. At first, everything felt normal. Then it started again. The shadow, the whispering, and this time, something tried to drag my father out of the bedroom entirely. His friend grabbed him just in time. They didn't stay to find out what would have happened if he hadn't. When they came back the next morning, the house looked like it had been broken into, furniture knocked over, belongings scattered across the floor, and every shiny object in the house gone. The knives, the silverware, all of it. 2 pages had been torn cleanly out of my father's Bible. They called my grandfather in Nevada, begging him not to make them stay there again. He didn't believe them. He told them he'd deal with it when he got home. When my grandfather walked through the door that evening, the house was completely normal. The furniture was back in place. The silverware and knives were exactly where they belonged. Even the torn pages were back in the Bible, like nothing had ever happened. For a moment, my father wondered if he'd imagined all of it. Then came 4 in the morning. My father woke up to my grandfather's voice from another room. "Stop staring at me." My father called back that he wasn't even there. My grandfather insisted someone who looked exactly like my father was standing in the room, watching him in total silence. After several long minutes, my grandfather got up and walked toward it. The shadow vanished, moving, he said, in the direction of my father's bedroom. Seconds later, every door in the house flew open, then slammed shut, over and over, for nearly 5 minutes straight. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. That was the night my grandfather finally believed him. After that night, the house went quiet. Almost completely quiet. There was only one more incident, a few mornings later on his way to school. My father's phone rang. He answered. A voice he didn't recognize said his full name, calmly. Then it said 4 words, "We are always watching." The call ended immediately. After that, nothing else major ever happened, just a few small unexplained things, every now and then. To this day, my father has never been able to explain what happened during those 4 nights.